Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our first speaker tonight. We're going to hear a lovely message from the father of the bride.
Hello everyone, I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who has come today to celebrate this special day with Chantelle and Freddy, and for those who sadly are not with us today to celebrate. Those of you that know me know I'm not much of a talker. My wife does all my talking for me, so I will keep it short. I would like to say how beautiful my daughter looks today, as does her maid of honour, Tasmin. And of course, Freddy. When I was first introduced to Freddy, I liked him, and then I found out he supported Man United, and I liked him even more. Through the years, I could see Freddy and Chantelle would make a good couple, and I am proud to have him as my son-in-law. If you would all like to raise your glasses and wish Chantelle and Freddy all the best for the future, to the bride and groom.
Yay, Freddy, Chantelle.
Round of applause for the father of the bride. Now we do have something a little unusual and a little unexpected. Our lovely bride is going to speak.
Sorry, I'm going to have to read it a little bit. They say first impressions count. Thankfully, not in our case, because my first impression of Freddy was that he was loud, arrogant, and a bit immature. To explain, Freddy joined the company I worked for and would often be seen playing some form of ball game around the office, or he could be heard shouting "fact" after every one of his opinions. You all know what I'm talking about. But luckily for me and for Freddy, he was chosen to go on secondment to another office, where he started emailing me, and there was no bravado over email. So the moral of the story is, if you want a sensible conversation with Freddy, email him. Over email, I learnt that Freddy is caring, intelligent, thoughtful, and a great listener. A skill he definitely perfected having two sisters. Fast forward a few months, and I would be telling Tasmin, my maid of honour, that I would marry Freddy one day. Unfortunately, I didn't also tell her the lottery numbers on that day. Speaking of Tasmin, I would like to say a thank you. She has been the best maid of honour, organising an amazing hen do. For anyone that was on the hen do, there is no dancing on the tables in this venue. Thank you. She's been a great support and a great sounding board. I would also like to thank the groomsmen for whipping up a great stag do for Freddy, where even Ross stayed out past 9 p.m. I'd also like to thank Freddy's mum for raising him and for coming all the way from Ghana today to be here. And I'd like to thank my parents for their continuous love, help and support over the years. I just wanted to say two things I love about my husband. The first is his sense of humour. Something that he definitely got from his dad, George. George was a man of few words, but what he did have to say was usually humorous. Secondly, Freddy has this unique ability to make a group of individuals a team, both on and off the pitch. And I'm so happy to start our Team Newman today to learn, grow, and laugh together. Freddy has taught me patience, how to listen, as well as the offside rule. They say marriage is all about teamwork, And I know Freddy is used to playing for and supporting the winning team. So here is to Team Newman. I'd now like to invite my husband to do his speech.
Son, you going to sit down? And you lot make jokes about the other one wearing the trousers. So for those of you in here that don't know me well, I'm really shy, I'm really humble. So the idea of speaking in front of you today is like filling me with dread. And for those of you who do know me, I promise that's the last insincere thing I'm going to say during this speech. Right? Thank you all for coming here. Like, genuinely, it's been a special day. Like, the weather was great. Everyone's been great. I've seen smiles on faces. It's been an amazing day. So thank you all for coming here. I'd like to reserve a really special thank you for a few key people who've made today what it has been. So I'm going to start off by thanking Tasmin. You've been an absolutely incredible maid of honor. So when Chantelle let Tasmin know that she was going to be maid of honor, you've heard the term bridezilla, right? Tasmin was 2 notches down from bridesmaidzilla, right? Like, so it was just the right side of over the top. But the organization was incredible. Like, I think she sent Chantelle a itinerary of how today was going to go, an itinerary of how Hindu was going to go, an itinerary of what's going to happen within the next few months up until the wedding. Like, it was amazing to see how organized Tasmin had been, and for that reason, because we left this late, so we needed you. I don't know if any of you noticed, but Chantelle's had a shadow throughout the day while she couldn't walk on grass, and Tasmin's actually genuinely been amazing. So genuine thank you. And I don't know who's going to deliver the gift. Eva? Eva, do you want to give this on to Tasmin? A huge thank you. Huge thank you. Thank you, Eva. From one end of organisation to the complete other side of organisation, I'd like to thank my best men, Ronnie and Dathan. No. I'm not going to spend this whole time grilling you, but look, I've known Ronnie since I was no older than Kion. I've known Dathan since I was no older than Eva, right? So when you're in a WhatsApp group with 2 people like that who you spend a lot of time with, right, you don't need to use the words, can you be my best man? You just let them know subtly that it's their role. It's their role. I don't have any brothers, right? It's your role. Anyway, they sent me complaints back in March that they didn't know what was going on or whatever. They somehow managed to get together a stag do, and to their credit, it was a good laugh, right? We had a really good time. They managed to bring together, groups of friends that had never met each other that day. So they did well, right? But their uselessness runs in everything they do. So please, when they come up here to tell some fabricated stories about me, please spare them 1 or 2 laughs, not too many, 1 or 2, just so that they feel better about what they're up here saying, right? please. But because they're part of the wedding party and they did their part or whatever, Eva, do you mind sending out some gifts to Uncle Ronnie and Uncle Dathan? Son, you can sit back down. You can sit back down. Well done.
Well done. Give me.
From my best men to two people who I don't tell I love enough, I'd like to thank my sisters. Thank you for your amazing reading earlier. As I said, I really don't tell you two I love you enough. I mean, I don't respond to you enough on any sort of messages, but I just want you and Mum to know I do that to everyone in this room. Exactly. But yeah, I want to thank them because they've been there my whole life. Anita used to look after me when I was younger. Gillian used to annoy me when I was younger. But genuinely, they've taught me, I guess, one of the most important lessons a young man can ever learn in his life, and that there's always something to complain about. And somehow, just somehow, those complaints are always about me. And it stood me in good stead, I'm ready for marriage after that. Son, you ready? Oh, you okay, son? On to my mum, who I truly admire, well and truly admire. The love and respect I have for this woman and what I've seen her do over the years is endless, right? And I guess up until I met Chantelle, I can't say I put any woman above you now that I've married my wife, but up until I met Chantelle, there's no woman in this world that I had a greater respect for, genuinely. Parents are not supposed to have favourites. But there are no doubts to anyone that I was the favourite child.
He's right. Mommy's boy.
So it went from, Freddy, what are you having for dinner? Is that what you want for dinner? That's what everyone's having for dinner. To, Anita, we are not watching this rerun of Ricky Lake. There is a live Champions League football match. Let Freddy watch it. Basically, whatever I wanted, I got. With that, some kids end up spoiled with that and they end up the wrong way. But I always grew up with this pressure, this real pressure that I had to go on to be someone that my mum could really, really be proud of. And I hope stood here with my mum sat alongside me on my wedding day that is the case. I really hope that my mum is proud of me. On to someone else that I really hope is proud of me, and please forgive me. My dad. So I lost my dad at the start of last year. He was a man that I truly, truly looked up to in each and every single way. His work ethic, his sense of humor. I've never known a man to laugh at his own jokes quite like him, and this is including me. And least of all, not least, his passion for Manchester United. Do you want to sing the song, son?
Never.
Yeah, we are Man United. We're never going to stop. No, seriously. So, like, I watched him and I idolized him growing up, genuinely. Nothing amazing that he did, but he went about his business day to day in a very humble manner, and I looked at that and wanted to be the same, right? Unfortunately, you know, there's my mum, so there's also this outlandish side of me, you know. I tell funny stories. The Halkidiki they will know a story about me that not even I knew, but let's hope they don't tell the story, right? And if I had one message for my dad today, it would be that I love him. God, I miss him. And that since he left us, Man United have won more trophies than Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Spurs combined. And if anyone here is offended by that, well, I'd also like to thank Chantelle's family. Leanne, your reading today was amazing, moving. I can't thank you enough for being here and doing that reading this morning. This morning? It was at 2 or whatever. It felt like the morning. Been a long day. Andrew, Wendy, or should I say mum and dad? You two have really been welcoming to me pretty much from day one. And I can't thank you enough for that. Like, I specifically remember very early in our relationship, and Chantelle's had to go into hospital for a operation, right? And I mean, I don't live too far away. I live in Wembley at the time. There are operations in Watford, but I'm a lot closer to the hospital if I'm in St. Albans. Now, this is early in our relationship, and they had absolutely no right, they barely know me, they had no right to let me stay with them, but they did, and that meant the world to me, personally, because it meant I could be closer to the woman I loved. And I'd never really said it to them, but I thank you so much for that day in particular, not least letting me marry your daughter. You're family to me, and you always will be from this day forward. Thank you both so much. On to their daughter, my wife. God, it's so good to say she's my wife. It's been a long time coming. I've been engaged for 7 years. Like, this day means a lot, right? Can we all take a moment to appreciate just how beautiful she looks today? Like, there was the kids coming down the aisle, and that got me. Like, I don't know if you lot saw me. I turned around. I can't be seen to be, you know, weak in front of you lot. Hay fever, you know, hay fever. Yeah. But I knew if I watched Chantelle come down the aisle, that was me done. So I turned around. Like, I've been waiting years for this day. So to watch her actually do it, nah, not for me. Not in front of you lot. Too big a man for that, right? So like, I remember the day that I first met Chantelle. It's like fresh out of uni, like, you know, when you're like fresh out of uni, I'm looking for jobs, like summer's been difficult. Then I'm at this second stage interview for this new company, and I'm there meeting a couple of big dogs or whatever. New company, everyone's a big dog when you're an entry. The interview was terrible, like genuinely terrible. They were asking questions, I barely knew what my own name was, like it was so bad. And after this interview, I'm there thinking, like, I'm gonna have to go back, open up the laptop.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Open up the laptop, start looking for jobs again. Like, then when is there gonna be like signal on the Metropolitan line? I want to tell Mum what I'm having for dinner. Like, it's been a bad interview. And then they go and tell me, oh, we want to have someone come in to administer your Excel test. I'm thinking, this interview's gone terribly. Why am I having to do an Excel test? Anyway, I'm there, and I have no interest in this job. I've already told myself I didn't even want this job anyway. Like, why am I here? I didn't want this job. Like, it wasn't right for me. And then Chantelle walked in. And I promise you guys, I went from not wanting the job to needing the job in 10 seconds. Like, yeah. Anyway, kids in the room, your parents are going to tell you that tests and exams are very important to shaping your life. And kids, they're not wrong. But I have never, ever in my life taken a test more seriously than this test that I was about to do. Geez, Excel test, yeah? Okay. Got half an hour, I was finished in 15 minutes. Then I thought, actually, nah. I heard something back there. But anyway. Anyway, let me double check. Let me triple check my work, because, boy, this job is now the most important thing in my life. Test was meant to be half an hour. Chantelle came back after 38 minutes. Now, she claims it's because she wanted to give me extra time, and she's given the whole spiel about, yeah, I just wanted you to get the job. Get out of here, man. Anyone that knows Chantelle knows she don't know time for nothing. Chantelle was late because Chantelle was late, and Chantelle's been late every day since. I love you, though. No, but then Chantelle, like, goes without saying I got the job, by the way. We're here together, right? I was smitten. Like, she was beautiful. It was my single goal going into work. Like, how am I gonna work this? Let me put my A game on. Anyway, turns out she didn't like me. What's this about? Something about being obnoxious, loud, arrogant. It was then that I realized, yeah, she's not only beautiful, but she's an excellent judge of character. I need her in my life. She knows me, and she still likes me. She's pretending she doesn't. Yeah. Years later, it's like, I used to go home, like, after these days at work, and I'm like, yo, man them, look, there's this girl at work. Like, she's all right, you know what I'm saying? You get me? These lot remember the conversations. Anyway, these guys, they're like, why are you wasting your time? blood, she don't care about you. She ain't gonna waste her time with you. Like, you're a waste, man. I'm thinking, these are my friends, you know. These are the guys that I've given suits in this shade. In this shade, you know. They're calling me waste. Anyway, I used to say that, stand there and say, don't watch nothing. That's my wife. I used to say there, I used to sit there and think to myself, that's my wife. So I take real pride standing up here today to say, man them, hey, that's my wife. My wife, Chantelle, like, you're amazing. I can't get into speaking about you here in front of everyone today because I already spoke about it. I'm too man for that. But now, every relationship has its ups and downs, right? I don't think there's an adult in this room that can say relationships are easy. Chantelle, our relationship's no different. But it's actually through the trying times, the difficult times, that I've come to understand and appreciate that there's nobody out there I'd rather be with. Right? It's through difficult times that you know who's gonna stay by, you know who you can rely on, and you are that person for me, Chantelle. I can't wait to take on this new chapter of our lives together. We're gonna go from having the kids dictate every moment of our lives to having the kids dictate every moment of our lives, but with rings on. Chantelle, I love you. You mean the world to me. You're an amazing mother to our children. And I would never, ever want to take this moment away from my life. You mean everything to me. Sorry, guys. No, I don't need the Kleenex, you know, it's inside, no pollen. But I wanted to end this speech by saying it's been a running joke from pretty much day one that I've been telling Chantelle exactly how lucky she is to have me in her life, right? But I want it to be said in front of everyone here. Chantelle, I'm going to look you in the eye. I am the luckiest person in the world to have you be a part of my life. Now, please remember what I mentioned earlier about the 1 or 2 giggles. You don't have to do belly laughs or anything like that. I'm going to let Ronnie come up to speak first, and he's going to be accompanied by my other best man, Dathan. Please do your best for them, please.
I have to hold nothing to her. Hello? Okay. Freddy, you worried? You sure? No, I'm annoyed. Because I was going to embarrass him. But then his speech was beautiful and it started off well. So as I was sitting there, I started deleting all the bad things in my phone. And then he said a useless comment, so now I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that I deleted it. So technically, the speech is all a lie, but just take it as it is because I deleted all the bad stuff. So as Freddy said, known him since we were 2, 33 long years. Growing up together, I was at his house every Saturday, 12 o'clock, for all the football matches, everything. And generally, I hate speeches. Anyone who knows me knows I hate speeches. I hate being in front of a crowd. But I was actually looking forward to Freddy's speech because I was going to embarrass him. And I was going to embarrass him because in my family, I'm the only boy. I have 2 older sisters. So growing up with Freddy, he was basically my older brother, right? Older brother in my life. You think it's sweet? It's not, it's Freddy. It's Freddy. Freddy's smarty pants. Freddy maths whiz genius. Freddy beat me at every game, every Sega Mega Drive game, every FM game was Freddy. And it might not seem so now, you know, grown and everything, but he was way taller than me when we were young. It was so annoying. He used to bully me with his strength and his size. Freddy, yeah, this Freddy, this shrimp. He was once nearly double my height, this guy. Yeah. But, yeah, he used to bully me on the football pitch, every opportunity, smashing my shins. So I was going to embarrass him. But I thought about it, and I thought, I'm getting married soon as well, so he might get revenge. So, again, I've thrown a few lies in there for him, you know. But there's one thing, Freddy, I'll let you off, but there's one thing you're not getting away with, and today it will be resolved, Freddy. We've already eaten. I thought I'd be able to hold off the eating until we resolve it, but, you know, we've eaten already. But Freddy, you owe me money, and you owe Dave for money. And you know why? So basically, a little story behind it, in our early 20s, we're sitting around, the 3 of us, and we made a bet. Now the bet was, whoever proposes to any woman first pays the other £2,000. Whoever gets married first, another £1,000. Whoever has kids first, another £1,000. So, yeah, it was an easy bet, to be honest. It was an easy bet. I knew I was going to win. I'm argumentative, I'm annoying. No one's going to marry me, like, realistically. Dathan, he's a troublemaker, no chance. No one's going to marry him, no chance. But, you know, I've got a beautiful fiancé, he's got a beautiful partner as well, so someone took us in. So yeah, it was an easy win for my money. And to be honest, hurts me to say it, but Freddy was the mature one. Freddy was the level-headed one. He's a bit of a robot, but he was the emotionally controlled one as well. So when I'd be arguing with people, he'd be calming me down. When Dathan was causing trouble, he'd be stopping him. So to be honest, we knew that he'd be the first one to marry. He'd be the first one to take the big steps as a man. To be honest, hurts me to say it, but Freddy's built for it. He's years ahead of his age, and he's always been like this, to be honest. Yeah, mentally strong, calm, decisive. These days considerate. He used to be so selfish, but these days you're considerate. Yeah, he's a true leader. He's a true leader. He was the captain of our football team in our teens, Minorians FC. He was the captain at Kent University. So yeah, he's been a great leader for us. So Shan, I say this to you. All I want to say is that even though he's a robotic and he's a poor communicator, he's a good man. He's a good man, honestly. Trust him like we did. He led us to many footballing victories. So you have a great leader as your husband. Support him, believe in him, let him provide and lead your household and your wonderful, beautiful family, and I'm sure you'll have a long and successful marriage. Cheers to Freddy and Chantelle Newman.
Yes, Freddy.
What you saying?
All right. Yeah. So I'm Dathan. I'm Freddy's good friend, best friend. I met Freddy probably 30 years ago, maybe plus that. I met Freddy through Ronnie, the second best man. I met Freddy, and you know, we were young at the time, but we used to go and visit each other at each other's houses, and we would, you know, go and play games and watch videos and play Sega Mega Drive. And yeah, one of the first things I remember about Freddy is, and I don't know if everyone knows this, but he reminded us probably every week to 2 weeks. But Freddy was actually pushed up 1 year in his school. So I'm a year above Freddy. I'm about 8-9 months older than Freddy. However, he was in my year when he should have been in Ronnie's year. And this happened at, we were probably 5 or 6 years old. So I had always thought, there's probably a technical difficulty with the school, or there's been a glitch in the system because it doesn't make sense. And as I said, he reminded us a lot. And I always used to think, I'm not sure. But as time played out, to be honest, it's hard for me to admit, but Freddy, I saw the smartness in you, and I saw where that came from. So that was one of the first.
They didn't follow me though. That's good to know.
It was one of the first memories I had of Freddy. But as I said, so I lived 5 minutes from Freddy, 5 minutes from Ronnie. So we used to meet up regularly, summer holidays almost every day. And, we used to go out, we used to ride our bikes, we used to race, play football, play games. Freddy had Street Racer, which was the best game we've ever had on. If anyone's played Sega, Street Racer was the best game of that time. So, but being Freddy's best man, although he hasn't asked me to be in this position, and I've just automatically fell into this, I've been drinking, so. But I thought what I would do in my speech is just talk about, the history I have with Freddy. So, as I said, we met when we were 5 or 6. And then, we gradually grew up, got into high school stage. And then, Ronnie and Freddy went to Preston Manor. I went to Claremont, which was 20-30 minutes away from their school. And I remember we were all footballers, and we had a football match. And it was Preston Manor versus Claremont. It was a home game for Preston Manor. So we showed up to Preston Manor, and because we were all sort of local, there was a lot of people in Preston Manor that I knew, and people in my school knew people from Preston Manor. So it was a big game. It was like a local derby. A lot of people on the sidelines, a lot of noise and hype. And I remember playing this game, and we were doing pretty well, my school, and I was causing trouble for them in the midfield. And Freddy took it upon himself to settle the danger, I will call it. And one thing about Freddy, at that time, he had football boots, and I'm not sure about his cleaning regime, but his football boots he was known for rusted studs, and everyone knew this about Freddy. So we were playing the game, and Freddy took it upon himself to absolutely clatter me, and I've got one of the biggest scars I've got on my legs came from Freddy. And on that day I learned that Freddy, he puts the game before anything when that whistle blows. But I've taken that from you, Freddy. Honestly, it was a good lesson to learn. I took a bit from you from that.
Who won? There you go.
We'll move on. We'll move on, Freddy. So, we gradually grew up and graduated from, high school, moved on to college and university. So Freddy went to Canterbury University in Kent. And I always remember Freddy, we've got a lot of experience as footballers. And we've always known Freddy as a defender. So Freddy was 18, 19 years old, and he's gone to Canterbury. And again, I thought, is this another technical issue with another institute again, but Freddy somehow pulled himself off as a striker when he was known as a defender, but he said he was a striker, and, you know, Freddy being the man he is, he ended up scoring, was it 36 goals?
A year.
In a year, which was an amazing record, an amazing feat for a striker. And again, you know, Freddy's shown the type of man he is. He's capable and adjustable to pressure. So it was another thing I've taken from Freddy. And, you know, we then, you know, we went through uni. We then, you know, started to find our feet in our careers. And we used to email each other. So we were all working at separate companies, but we'd email each other throughout the week, and we'd catch up on football, catch up on the weekend's results, what's the latest, what's happening. And, you know, there came a time where all of a sudden Freddy started to mention a lady, this lady, Chantelle Dixon. And he would always say her full name as well. He wouldn't call her Chantelle, he would just say Chantelle Dixon. And I used to think, Freddy, can we talk about the football? Or can we talk about our normal stuff? But it gradually increased. He kept speaking about Chantelle Dixon, and it became more serious. I finally met her. I thought, Freddy, how have you done this? How have you pulled this off? But, you know, since Freddy has met Chantelle, you know, he's found his career, he's been working. I've seen Freddy go from strength to strength, and I really love what you've brought to his life, Chantelle. I'm really happy for what you have together. You have a young family as well, a new house for your family. And yeah, I've never said this to Freddy, but Freddy, I love you. You're my bro. You mean a lot to me. And I'm just want to wish you congratulations. And if everyone could just raise a toast for Freddy and Chantelle. So thank you guys.
Ladies and gents, please put your hands together one more time for our speakers tonight. If you haven't seen it, there is a guest book on this table. Please do make a point of signing it. But for now, let's get this party started. Go and tell the guests, shall we?